Inside the high-tech vault, Jake turns into a blur of impossible speed, weaving through a laser grid. A device on Jake's wrist emits a pulse, freezing the lasers in place, their deadly beams suspended. Temporal distortion shimmers in the air, a sign of Jake's mastery over time itself. A security guard nearby is caught in the temporal field, frozen mid-motion, a statue of surprise. They call it temporal displacement, Jake says, his voice echoing through the vault. With a smirk, Jake redefines the term. I call it borrowing. Jake admires the data crystal, its structure intricate in the dim light. Apartment lights flicker, casting eerie shadows as Jake's world distorts. A photo on the wall shifts, smiles twisting into something sinister. His blue mug turns a sickly green, a jarring note in familiar surroundings. What the? Jake whispers, fear creeping into his voice as reality unravels. Memories cascade as code, revealing fragmented and corrupted fragments. A high-tech alarm screams through Jake's apartment, an ominous warning hanging in the air. Ida strides in, her temporal agency uniform sharp, her face set with grim purpose. Jake Miller, your temporal signature has become unstable, Aida says, her voice echoing in the confined space. Aida's eyes flash with urgency. Soon, you won't just be an anomaly, you'll be nothing. Jake stumbles through the bustling streets, his face etched with disorientation as buildings warp and people flicker around him. Terror grips him as he glances back. Ada relentlessly pursues him, her expression set with grim determination. My mother, what happens to her if I'm gone? Jake cries out, his voice lost in the chaos. Ida's chilling reply cuts through the noise. She will never have had a son. Your only hope is to return the crystal. In the abandoned lab, Jake and Ada seek shelter, the air thick with the dust of forgotten experiments and echoes of shattered timelines. Jake holds the crystal aloft, its facets catching the dim light, revealing glimpses of fractured realities. Ada's voice cuts through the silence, a revelation hanging heavy in the air. It's an archive of failed timelines. Jake's eyes reflect a haunting realization. This crystal, it holds my original timeline, where I became a temporal scientist. As dawn breaks, Jake and Ada reach the rooftop of the temporal vault, the entrance looming before them. Suddenly, a Chronos enforcer descends, its targeting system instantly focusing on Jake. Red lights flash as temporal security drones rise ominously from hidden ports. Ida's face is etched with urgency and fear as chaos erupts around them. We need to get it back inside. Now, Ada shouts, her voice sharp against the drone's whir. Jake braces himself, ready to face the immediate onslaught of the enforcer and drones. On the temporal vault's rooftop, Jake and Ada fight drones. Jake freezes some, while accelerating past others. Jake strains, his form flickering. I can feel myself dissolving, he cries, struggling to maintain control. He fights on, his movements desperate. Get it inside. I'll create a diversion, he shouts to Ida. The battle intensifies. Jake a whirlwind of motion against an implacable mechanical enemy. On the temporal vault's rooftop, Ada pauses, her face etched with conflict against the backdrop of the city. Jake strains, his form flickering as he channels his dwindling power into a shimmering time bubble. The drones slow, caught in Jake's temporal distortion, their mechanical advance momentarily stalled. If I don't, we both will be. And every version of me, Jake gasps, his voice strained with urgency. His eyes lock with Aida's, a silent plea passing between them in the face of imminent danger. With a final desperate command, Jake urges her, go! His fading form emphasizes the sacrifice. Ada sprints, the enforcer's beam flashes close behind in the temporal vault. She bursts into the core chamber, temporal energy visibly pulsing. Jake's faint, spectral form flickers outside the energy field. Ada seizes the data crystal, her face a mask of determination. She slams the crystal into the slot, a surge of power erupts. The chamber glows intensely as temporal forces are unleashed. The temporal vault hums, anticipation building in the air. A blinding light erupts, filling the core chamber. The vault pulses with raw energy. A palpable wave of temporal energy washes over everything. The very air crackles with unleashed power. On the rooftop, Jake, nearly transparent, braces as a wave washes over him. He closes his eyes, accepting the inevitable fade. A moment of quiet surrender. Instead of oblivion, a recalibration surges through him, reforming what was fading. His eyes snap open, solid once more as the Enforcer's beam retracts, the threat averted. Golden light bathes the temporal vault as Ada emerges, her expression enigmatic as she confronts Jake. Jake, confused, seeks answers. What happened? Ida reveals a stark truth. When the crystal was restored, your original timeline was too rebooted. Memory floods back to Jake. The device, I remember now. I built it to monitor temporal anomalies. Aida's revelation pierces the dawn. The agency has been looking for you. We need a Chrono Protector. Jake reflects on his past and future. I stole time, but sometimes even a thief can find the path to redemption.